The reason Ben Affleck decided to expose details of his divorce from J.Lo.
So Ben Affleck breaking his silence about divorce from Jennifer Lopez.
Quote, "My temperament is to be a little bit more reserved and private than hers."
Ben Affleck has always been known as one of Hollywood's most private A-listers, fiercely protective of his personal life and hesitant to let the public in on his most intimate moments.
It was exhausting physically, and to this day, it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
That's why it came as a huge shock when he recently opened up about his divorce from Jennifer Lopez in a rare, deeply personal interview with British GQ.
In an interview with GQ, the actor says he and J.Lo had different opinions on how much of their lives were in the public eye.
For years, Ben avoided discussing his romantic relationships, even when tabloids and gossip blogs relentlessly speculated about the reasons behind his breakups. But this time, he decided to speak up. The question is, why now? What made the notoriously private actor finally break his silence about the dissolution of his marriage to J.Lo?
Inside, the 52-year-old breaks his silence on the demise of Bennifer 2.0.
According to a source who spoke with DailyMail.com, Ben's motivation was pure frustration. He was so over the narrative that had been swirling since his and J.Lo's split, a narrative that painted him as the grumpy, brooding bad guy while J.Lo was the victim. For months, the media had focused on J.Lo's emotional reaction to the breakup, especially after she gave an explosive interview with Interview magazine in October 2023, where she described the divorce as the hardest time in her life and said her whole world exploded when they separated. While she also mentioned that the breakup eventually led her to where she wanted to be, her words reignited public sympathy for J.Lo, leaving Ben stuck in the role of the distant, unhappy husband who just couldn't handle life with J.Lo. Ben, however, wasn't having it. The source explained that while he had never planned to discuss his divorce in public, J.Lo's comments pushed him to clear the air. He wanted to set the record straight, not by attacking his ex-wife, but by simply offering his own perspective on what really happened. In his British GQ interview, Ben made it clear that their different approaches to fame played a major role in their split. He acknowledged that J.Lo thrives in the spotlight, handling fame with ease, while he has always been more reserved and private. He didn't blame her for their different perspectives, but he did make it clear that it was a fundamental issue in their relationship. Ben Affleck also downplayed the drama, insisting that there was no big scandal or juicy betrayal behind their divorce. "There's no soap opera, no intrigue," he stated. "It's just a story about people trying to figure out their lives and relationships in ways that we all sort of normally do." He even admitted that talking about the breakup felt embarrassing and vulnerable, but despite his discomfort, he clearly felt it was necessary to share his side of the story. Beyond clearing his name, Ben also hoped that speaking out about J.Lo would bring him closure and finally end the constant questions about his divorce. According to the source, he was tired of being asked about the split in every interview, and he wanted to put the subject to rest so he could focus on his career and family. At 52 years old, Ben has been in the public eye for decades, and he has seen firsthand how relentless and invasive the media can be when it comes to celebrity relationships. After his high-profile divorces from both Jennifer Garner and Jennifer Lopez, he wanted to move on without being haunted by the past. There was also another major reason Ben chose to speak now: his upcoming film with J.Lo, Kiss of the Spider-Woman. The former couple had worked together on the project before their split, with Ben serving as a co-producer and J.Lo starring in the lead role. With the film's theatrical release set for the fall, Ben was determined to make sure their past relationship didn't overshadow the movie. The source revealed that he had seen what happened with Unstoppable, another project he was involved in, where personal drama dominated headlines instead of the film itself. This time, he was determined to get ahead of the narrative and ensure that Kiss of the Spider-Woman would be judged on its own merits, not just as the movie Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez made before their marriage collapsed.